Today on the interview with past presidents, I have the singular honor of having Professor Helmut Remschmidt on this interview. Thank you very much, Prof, for accepting our invitation to speak to us on interview with past presidents today.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. I'm Dr. Yewande Oshodi. I'm the current IACAPAP Secretary General, and I'm really privileged to have this time with you to ask you a few questions about your experience as an IACAPAP president, your dreams, your achievements, and what you hope to see in the IACAPAP in the future. I'm going to run through a couple of questions and in no specific order, just to take us alongside your journey through IACAPAP. So first of all, tell us a bit about yourself, Prof.
Yes, I was born in 1938 in Romania, which is now Ukraine, in a city called Chernovitz, a very famous city from cultural point of view. And 1940, we had to move to Germany because we were of German origin, but lived in Romania. And this was according to the so-called Hitler-Stalin Treaty. So Germans living in Romania could go to Germany, and we took this opportunity and we went to Upper Silesia, which is now Poland, and were there for 5 years. In 1945, we had to flee from the Russian army, which was approving under very adventurous circumstances. And we settled in a small village where I went to school. And then from there, in the next town, I made my high school. Then I studied medicine, psychology, and philosophy at the universities in Erlangen and Tübingen and Vienna. And then I had my first position in a hospital for mentally handicapped children in the southern part of Germany. And there I had to do with children with epilepsy and mentally handicapped children, which was a very interesting job. And at this time, I decided to become child psychiatrist.
Oh, wow. Wow. And so it was that experience that made you develop interest in child psychiatry, is that it?
Yes. There was a key experience because there was an 8-year-old girl suffering from epilepsy, and at that time they were treated with Hydantoins, which have several adverse things. And this girl pulled out the hair of other children in the night.
Oh, wow.
So I went in the night to the room and in the dormitory and saw what she did. And it was my idea that this child was discriminated by other children, bullied. It was in the omega position, to say it in that. Then I thought it is very good to pay more attention to this child. And I did many things with her, even archery or making walks, reading and all these things. And after a few months, she stopped this behavior.
Wow.
So I went to my boss and told him this, and he said, "Oh, how did you manage this?" Then I said to him what I did, and I asked him, "Where can I learn this a little bit more?" Then he said, "This is child psychiatry."
Wow.
Then I asked him, to which university can I go to learn to become a child psychiatrist? And he said, you can go to Tübingen or to Marburg, both famous university cities in Germany. And I asked him, where would you go in my position? He said, I would go to Marburg. So I went to Marburg, and Marburg was, my teacher was the founder of German child psychiatry. His name was Hermann.
Amazing. So this little girl with epilepsy stimulated your interest to then become a child psychiatrist.
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
All right. Would you, as you think about your journey now into child psychiatry, what would you say the key highlights of that journey has been, as you then went on to train to become a child and adolescent psychiatrist? Were there certain Milestones or, yeah?
There are different experiences and milestones. One of course, were the children with different disorders and diseases, and I felt it is worthwhile to treat these children and to find out what is the best treatment for them. Secondly, I was very young. I was only 35 years old when I got the offer to establish a new chair of child psychiatry and child neurology at the Freie University in Berlin. And then there were another milestones because I had to establish this clinic from the bottom. There was nothing. So
it was not from the scratch. You just had to start it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I asked the university, can you finance for me 2 journeys, one through Europe and one through United States and Canada? And I only want to comment on this in the United States and Canada. So I went there. I went to different places, to Boston, to New York, to San Francisco, St. Louis, Missouri, and so on, and to Toronto in Canada, to look at the latest developments in the field, yes. And one person impressed me very much. It was James Anthony. He was a professor of child psychiatry in St. Louis, Missouri, and he influenced me very much, and he became a kind of mentor for me. And when I was in his clinic, I wanted to know everything very detailed. So later on, he told me that his co-workers asked him if I would be a spy.
From Germany.
And I could not imagine at that time that I would offer and appoint him as Honorary President of IACAPAP when I myself became President of IACAPAP.
Wow.
Another interesting thing, he was working in an old building, but in the yard of this building was a brand new little building with video possibilities, with climate control. And I asked him, how did you get this building? He said it was very easy. I treated a girl with anorexia nervosa successfully, and her grandmother gave me this building.
Wow.
So I met him many times, and he had great influence. Another person with whom I cooperated very much was Donald Cohen. This was my best friend in the United States. We did different journeys. We were in several times in Israel, and had joint activities, and we influenced each other mutually. But unfortunately, he died very soon at the age of only 60. And I was at his funeral, and this was a great loss for me. In the beginning, a great impetus, but a great loss.
May his soul rest in peace.
But this journey in the United States and Canada was of great influence for me, not only for the development of my department, but also from the point of view of friendships, because many of people whom I met there became friends over the years, and I saw them at different conferences and congresses, and made journeys together and so on. So
it looks like that journey sets you into a space of building global networks with colleagues around the world.
Exactly, yes.
Prof, let me ask you now about your term as IACAPAP president. As you reflect on that period when you were president, are there certain significant challenges or achievements that you can recall during your tenure as IACAPAP president?
Yes. Donald Cohen and I myself, we are the only presidents who served for 6 years in IACAPAP.
Okay. Okay.
And at that time, there are many things that were of great importance, not only for me. And I would like to mention a few things. First of all, um, the study groups of IACAPA were very influential. We were in these study groups in different countries, in Sweden, China, South America, Japan, Africa, Senegal, and so. And these study groups had the aim to look at children and adolescents in different fields in this country and to look for improvements.
Okay.
This was one point of great influence. The second was the cooperation of the three international child psychiatric organizations. Of course, first IACAPAP, then WAYM, you know WAYM?
Yes, WAYM, yes. The infant mental health, yes.
Right. And in the year 2000, we had planned a Millennium Congress in Jerusalem of all the three organizations. But for political reasons at that time, that could not be carried out. There was political struggles, and Arafat had forbidden his Palestinians to sit at the same table with us. So we were not. So this was the preparation was an interesting experience, but in the end, it did not take place. So we were very.
But at least you established some cooperation between the three organizations.
Yeah, and we had many sessions between Palestinians and Jewish child psychiatrists. So at the time, so we were hopeful, but the hope didn't come.
Didn't come to pass.
A third point, which was important, are the world congresses, of course, and I had the honor to conduct the 16th World Congress 2004 in Berlin, which was very, very successful.
Very successful.
I'm really happy that next year another.
It's going back to Germany, isn't it?
In Hamburg,
in Hamburg, Germany. It's a homecoming, isn't it? Yes.
And to prepare this Congress 2004, a person who was very important was Myron Belfer. Myron Belfer was at that time at WHO, and he came frequently to Berlin. So we did all the things together, and he became, after my presidency, also my successor as IACAPAP president.
Yes, he did. Wow. So
then, let me mention another point. During my time, there was a worldwide program, the WH program or WPA program of child mental health psychiatry all over the world. And this was an interesting experience. We had 3 study groups in this program all over the world. A study group on awareness, a study group on prevention, and a study group on treatment. And the studies, for instance, one important study was a field study on school dropout in Alexandria, Egypt, Porto Alegre, Brazil, and Nizhny Novgorod in Russia. And it was possible to reduce by this program, which I cannot describe in detail for time reasons. It was possible to reduce by 50% the dropout rate. We found school dropout is a worldwide problem, and this project was a model project for reduction of this type of.
Do you think a lot of people engaged and really, the success of these study groups? Do you think it's something that's, had long-term effects in some way or the other? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this program might have had a long-term effect because other centers did the same or similar studies. And the study groups in general had an impact, of course, upon those who participated, but also about the country or the study, where the study group took place.
Takes place, yes.
New methodology were implanted. And and cooperation went over the years. So I think it had really an impact. Not every program, but many of them. Yeah.
Yes, I can say that I think I benefited from one of the study groups several years later on. So
Which
it
one
did.
do you?
I think in Nigeria we had some study groups, where
Yeah.
Olayinka was,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you started these study groups, and so I attended one of them as a young psychiatrist many years ago. So
Yeah.
yes, they were indeed very successful.
Yeah.
So thank you for that initiative. Do you still have any other point you want to add to this, your
Yes,
reflections?
I think my most important things I developed was the research seminars. The
Yes.
the research seminars, now called Helmut Remschmidt Research Seminar, as you know,
Yes.
started in
Yes.
Germany with my friend Martin Schmidt, also a child
Mm-hmm.
psychiatrist. We did 6 seminars in Germany. When I became president of ESCAP, we had
Mm.
6 seminars in Italy. And when I became president of IACAPAP, I took the story and the methodology on the international level.
Mm.
And as you might know, we have just finished the 10th Helmut Remschmidt Research Seminar in a
Exactly.
monastery in the south of Bavaria. And
Yes.
it was very successful. We had 23 colleagues from 19 countries. And
Amazing.
and interestingly enough, the structure of the seminars had not to be changed since the very beginning.
Yes.
You know about this. So,
Yes, and this has been an amazing part of the IACAPAP. It has become a central part of the IACAPAP where people come from all around the world and they
right.
can participate in these research seminars. And yes,
And
I acknowledge it's a big one. Yes.
the second initiative I did at the Congress 2004 in Berlin was to implant the Donald Cohen Fellowship Program in
Yes.
honor of my dear friend Donald Cohen. And
Yes.
you may know this is a complementary program. The Helmut
I
Remschmidt
do.
is for 1 week. The Donald
Yes.
Cohen Fellowship Program takes place at the Congress.
In the
So
Congress.
complementary things, and I'm very satisfied that I was able to implant these 2 initiatives, which are long lasting and are going on, hopefully.
Yes, yes, it will continue. And many of us are beneficiaries. I have also been a Donald Cohen Fellow in 2010 in China. So
Uh,
all the seeds you've planted are definitely impacting, younger psychiatrists, and they're going on to make a difference in their world. So on behalf of all the beneficiaries of the research seminar, Donald Cohen, program, I want to say thank you, Prof. Thank you for the initiative and putting these things together. We're very, very pleased with it. I'm going to go on and say, after setting up these seminars and this program for the IACAPAP, are there other ways in which IACAPAP has impacted you as a person, or even left further impact in the lives of other people? Other impact of IACAPAP?
yes, I was invited in many parts of the world to give lectures and to plan with other people projects, and this was important. And I was for 3 years special professor of child psychiatry in Birmingham in England, and this was also a very fruitful experience. So I think this was a vice versa experience for me to see what is going on in all these
Mm,
countries and settings,
yes,
and for them to have my experience and advice for themselves. So this was
yes,
really important, and um, uh, what I have not yet mentioned was that at the Congress in the World Congress in Berlin 2004, we had several the programs I mentioned, but also we had a program for
yes.
Eastern Europe, and
Okay,
we had the Atlas project
okay.
conducted by Myron Belfer with
Yes,
WHO, and
yes.
we had um, yeah we had implanted a book series also in the name of IACAPAP, and
Yes.
was also important for education and for research. I was a
Yes.
founder, together with Herman van Engelen and Philip Graham, of the European Journal of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry,
Mm.
ECAP, you know this, yeah?
Okay. Yes, I do. Yes.
This is a flourishing journal, and I'm very proud that this was so successful. Yeah.
Yes. You have done such great things for the field of child and adolescent psychiatry. Indeed, you planted seeds that have grown to become great trees that continues to.
I'm very glad about this.
Yes, yes, and we are very proud to be able to benefit from your hard work. So we can only say thank you for that. However, I have still a very pressing question. What kinds of innovation can we still embrace in the field of child and adult? You've done great things already, but are there innovations that we can think about that can help, you know, improve the field, or even innovations during your presidency, apart from the things you've mentioned? Are there any additional thoughts you'd want to add around this?
I've made some notes on this.
Okay.
I think I would answer your questions under different headlines.
Okay, that's
First,
fine.
first the individual level. At the
Okay.
individual level, I think we have to stick even now very carefully to the individual patient. And all the computers and devices are only additional things. This
Mm,
is my first point. Uh, and
mm,
not to look primarily only on scales and such things, but to see the individual patient in his
mm,
personality. This is
mm,
an individual level. Then observe the guidelines that are now present for different diagnoses. The
mm,
guidelines are very helpful, and the guidelines should be and are in most cases on an empirical level. This
mm,
is very important because there is worldwide there are some child psychiatrists who do not obey these rules, who
mm.
do things that are sometimes strange and not founded by real research.
By evidence or research, yeah.
Yes. On the community level is my next point. I think we have to care or to look at all institutions where children are. There are
Mm,
schools who have no child psychiatrists, not at
mhm,
all. There are homes, children's homes, who have no child psychiatrists or clinical
mhm.
psychologists.
Yeah.
I'm at the same time also a clinical psychologist, so I try to combine both psychology and psychiatry in my person.
Psychiatry together. Okay.
Yes, yes. And on the state and country level, this is the third point, it is important to integrate child and adolescent psychiatry in the curriculum of medicine, which is not
Mm.
the case in many countries,
Many countries.
or only a little bit, but it should
Mm,
be part of study of medicine everywhere,
mm,
because this is an important thing, not only pediatrics but also child psychiatry, because the children are our capital, and
yes.
to look at also on in the study of medicine to include all these things. Yeah.
Mm. You've left us with very important nuggets. We should look at the individual, think about the individual we're treating. We should use the guidelines. We should pay attention to institutions where there are children and adolescents, and also we shouldn't forget the schools and work around supporting the children and adolescents in these institutions.
Exactly.
I think that would be important commandments for any child and adolescent psychiatrist now, that you
Mm.
mustn't forget any of these. So, Prof, as we begin to gently round up this interview, if you were to advise a young early career psychiatrist or child mental health experts, in the field, what will be your advice? I mean, you've given us some 4 points, but would there be any any career advice you give such a professional, a young person just coming up in the field, and is looking to make meaningful contributions in the field? Any thoughts around that? Or will it be the same thing that you said before?
No. First of all, the young applicant should go to a center which is famous or well known for clinical work and for research. This is important. The second thing is, child psychiatrists have also to be psychotherapists. That means integrating or to integrate psychotherapy into their training, which is not everywhere the case. And then if he or she wants to go into research, to go to a center where the research projects are taking place, and you can be part of a research program. Not to research individually as a single person, but to be included in a group that is experienced in the field. And this helps a lot and gives you also a stimulus for your personal growth. And
Great.
another point, not looking only in your little field, but widen your horizon to other regions and to other people and come into contact with other colleagues from other countries. And this is the case in the research seminars, because many of them became friends over the years when they started such a seminar, and this opens your eyes, for instance, for a situation in Vietnam or in London or in Germany, so to have a worldwide perspective. This is, from my point of view, very important.
Thank you, Prof. I think these are very important hints or tips for the early career psychiatrist or child and adolescent mental health professional. So as we round up, on a final note, would you have any thoughts around your vision and dream for the IACAPAP? The IACAPAP you led and the IACAPAP of today will continue to evolve. If you had any dreams or vision, what will those things be? What do you long to see in the IACAPAP as it goes on forward?
Well, I think we are, on the one hand, in a good way. On the other hand, there are dangers. For example, artificial intelligence is a good tool, but can also be a danger. So we should, my vision is to integrate everything that has an empirical background for the future. Then to establish centers of child psychiatry in outpatient, inpatient units and day patient hospitals everywhere. We have found out that you can treat at least 10 to 15% of those children who are usually inpatients as in home treatment or outpatients. So to facilitate home treatment, for example, in regions where not too many institutions are. Home treatment is a powerful tool, and we have done studies that demonstrate the success of home treatment. Then cooperation between other mental health professionals, child psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers. This network has to be developed further on. It exists in some cases, in some places, very well. But I think we have not yet reached the top of this development.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your time. I wonder if you have any final thoughts you'd want to share, or any final thoughts or messages for the viewer?
Yeah, I think most of the things I have in my mind, I have already
expressed them.
Expressed, and I think that the World Congresses can and should be further on a good forum for child psychiatrists, and our educational activities should go on. And
Yes.
I think this is the way which seems to me a good perspective. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So, on that note, we come to the end. I want to say a very, very big thank you to you, Professor Helmut Remschmidt, for your time, for sharing from your wealth of experience with us. And on behalf of the Bureau and the Executive Committee of IACAPAP, we really appreciate your sacrifice, your investment, and your wisdom and support, over the years and in the years to come. Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you very much, and give my best regards to the committee and to everybody who
I
is
will.
active in the executive committee.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Prof. Thank you very much.